Class 10 Chemistry, Chapter 3. Good morning, students. In our last meeting, we have seen the definition of bases, types of bases, then alkalis, then the acidity of a base like monoacidic base, diacidic base, or triacidic base. In today's class, we will see the preparation of bases. So from metals, how the bases can be produced. Some reactions have been given over there, and again you need to learn all these reactions which are given on page number 44. We will see one by one. Sodium reacts with oxygen, so metal reacts with oxygen to give a base. Now don't think that here no OH is there and therefore it should not be considered as a base. Now if you go through the definition of a base, you will know that sodium oxide and magnesium oxide both are bases. Okay, and what is the reason? You know well. So just learn the reactions. Okay, then by the action of water on reactive metals like sodium, potassium and calcium. So some reactive metals like sodium, potassium and calcium, when they react with water, they will give you base or alkali. Now you know the distinction between base and alkali. So NaOH, KOH, calcium hydroxide to give hydrogen gas. And the way of asking the question, it can be like write the balanced chemical reaction between sodium and water. So this is a balanced chemical reaction. Okay, now they can also ask you for the observation, like they will ask you when what is the observation when sodium reacts with water. So don't write simply that sodium hydroxide will be produced or H2 will be produced. You need to write the observation. Okay, so regarding observation, I told you what is the observation for hydrogen gas. Now I'm not going to repeat that one, but you know what is the observation for hydrogen gas. For NaOH you can also write that if you take the litmus paper and you know what will be the color change over here, so that observation you can also write. Got this one? Then by action of water on soluble metallic oxides. So by action of water on soluble metallic oxides. Okay, so what are the soluble metallic oxides? Example like sodium oxide, potassium oxide, calcium oxide, and you can see the reaction. So means you are preparing the bases. So all these reactions you need to learn. Then by double decomposition, you know the meaning of double decomposition. Aqueous solution of salts with a base or alkali precipitate the respective metallic hydroxide. So FeCl3 base NaOH. What we see over here, that salt solution reacts with base to give basic hydroxide and a normal salt, and it is an example of double decomposition. So means Fe and Cl, they will get broken down, Na and OH, they will get broken down. Okay, separately into the separate ions they will get broken down, and again Fe will come along with the OH and this Na will go along with the Cl. So that's why it can also be considered as to be example of double displacement or double decomposition. So all these reactions once again you need to learn, students. And I told you they can ask you the question like what is the reaction between ferric chloride and sodium hydroxide. That complete balanced equation you need to write. Now if they ask you what is the observation, so what is the observation? A PPT will be produced, okay, of ferric hydroxide. So likewise you need to write about the observation. Now by action of oxygen on metal sulfide. So whatever the examples have been given, only those examples you need to learn. Okay, don't make from your side any other metal sulfide example. So if it is written zinc sulfide, lead sulfide reacts with oxygen, so don't make it to be the iron sulfide, since it is not given in the book the reaction of iron sulfide or likewise. So don't worry about that. Only such sort of metal oxide like zinc and lead. So when they react with oxygen, that is after heating, they will give you zinc oxide, that means metallic oxide, zinc oxide or lead oxide, and again sulfur dioxide will be produced. So they will ask you what is the complete balanced reaction between oxygen and that zinc oxide. This is the complete balanced reaction. Now they will ask you what will be the observation when oxygen reacts with zinc sulfide or heated with zinc sulfide. So you know SO2, and you know what is this, how this sulfur dioxide gas. So basically it will be produced in the gaseous form, it will come out. So 1 or 2 tests you can write about sulfur dioxide, like suffocating smell it is having, burning rubber smell it is having. Okay, and also it can change that lime water milky. We know carbon dioxide can change lime water milky. This SO2 can also change lime water milky. So such sort of observations you can write. Then by decomposition of salts like calcium carbonate, copper carbonate, simply heating you have done basic oxides. From calcium carbonate CaO has been produced, from here CuO has been produced, and what is the observation? CO2 has been produced. So brisk effervescence which will turn lime water milky you can write. Okay, but here only this reaction is to be learned. So if they ask you balanced chemical equation, you will write this one. If they ask you what is the observation, that lime water turns milky, brisk effervescence have been evolved, likewise you can write. Now some note is there, sodium and potassium carbonate do not decompose on heating. So it means sodium carbonate, if you heat, it will not decompose into sodium oxide and carbon dioxide likewise. So these are some of the exceptional cases. Then metal nitrate, from metal nitrate, if you decompose metal nitrate in presence of heat, then basic oxide will be produced, nitrogen dioxide will be produced, and oxygen will be produced. Now once again they will ask you the balanced chemical equation between when your calcium nitrate is decomposed by heating. So this is the balanced chemical equation. Okay, now if they ask you about the observation, so either for nitrogen dioxide, you know it is generally brown fumes are observed or reddish brown fumes are observed. Okay, you can write this one, or you can also write about the observation for oxygen gas evolution. So in your practical file you can see the what is the observation for nitrogen gas evolution, nitrogen dioxide gas evolution, what is the observation for oxygen gas evolution. Then once again that note says sodium and potassium nitrates do not give metal oxide when decomposed. So if it is sodium nitrate, it will not give you sodium oxide. Then from ammonium hydroxide can be prepared by simply dissolving, okay, it is the preparation, can be prepared by simply dissolving ammonia gas in water. Ammonia is extremely soluble in water. So ammonia gas you dissolve in water, it will give you NH4OH, and we know that ammonium hydroxide is weak alkali. So in chapter 9, that was ammonia, chapter 9. So through fountain experiment we know that ammonia is highly soluble in water. Okay, it will give ammonium hydroxide, and this is a weak alkali. Now let us see the properties of bases and alkalis. Now physical properties, they have a sharp and bitter taste. So it is not that much important, but these points are important, students. Let me just write over here, they are important ones. Okay, so what will be the color change when we take litmus with the base? So the litmus will turn from red to blue. If we are taking the indicator methyl orange with the base, it will turn orange to yellow. And if we are taking phenolphthalein with the base, it will turn colorless to pink. So generally they will ask you about the color changes in the exam. Then insoluble bases do not affect indicators. Why insoluble bases do not affect indicators? Because when we said insoluble bases, it means they will not, although there can be OH, but the OH will not be ionized. Okay, it will not become OH minus, and hence they will not react with either litmus, methyl orange or phenolphthalein. So they don't have that effect over the indicators. Then they are soapy substance, that is they are slippery to touch. So let us see what is written over there. Caustic soda and caustic potash are strong alkalis. We know that alkalis react with oil to form soap. Since our skin contains oil, in the form of fat. Hence, when we touch caustic soda or caustic potash, a reaction takes place and soapy solutions are formed. That's why they are soapy to touch. And we know they are strong electrolytes. So basically, if they are strong bases, then they will be strong electrolytes. Okay, like NaOH, KOH. Then they show a mild corrosive action, that is slight burn on the skin. So these are some of the properties of the bases or alkalis, but this second point, it is very important. So do learn this point. So students, this is all for today. Goodbye.